Today we are talking about learning and development budget. So one of you have asked me in the comments on one of my previous videos a few questions about L&D budget. So here I am with answers that are based on my practical experience. So we'll talk about what is learning and development budget, who is involved in setting it, how do you set it, and how the adjustments are made. This video is an overview, not a deep dive. We would need one whole day together to discuss all possible aspects of L&D budgets. Let's get started. So what is learning and development budget? The L&D budget is the fund companies allocate to train and upskill their employees so they can excel in their current roles and achieve or exceed the business goals. In short, the learning and development budget aims to help employees reduce costs, increase revenue, increase customer satisfaction, increase employees' productivity, meet new market demands. So who is involved in setting it? Well, of course, it depends on the type and size of your organization. At the top, we have a C-suite executives such as CEO or CFO. They're the one who are responsible for approving and allocating the organization's overall budget, including learning and development fund. Down the chain, we have the head of HR department, the L&D team, HR managers, or HR business partners. How is L&D budget allocated and distributed? In my career, I have seen three ways. The first approach is the L&D budget for the entire organization is part of HR budget. Second approach, the L&D budget is part of business expenses of each business unit. So depending on the different factors such as the team size, role and function within the company, each department will have a different learning and development budget. In this case, business unit leaders might directly impact the budgeted amount. And the third approach is the budget per employee, and most of the times it is tied to the employee's basic salary. Other factors that might affect the amount are the seniority of employees in the company and last year performance. So what is too much or what is too little when it comes to L&D budget? It all depends on the mindset of the business owner, the CEO or GM, and of course the finance policies. The L&D budget directly reflects how business owner values its employees and how they see individual growth and development. Why am I saying this? I have seen very different approaches and very different treatments of L&D function and L&D budget. For some businesses, the development of their people is the priority, and it is reflected not only in words but in actions and numbers. Basically, a reasonable and efficient L&D budget is allocated and it won't be cut at the first opportunity. Another possible scenario is that the owner of the company will only allocate funds to the bare minimum. The funds will be allocated to mandatory trainings. It can be mandatory training from the government or other local authorities. Also, if the company is a part of the bigger international organization, the money will be allocated to the things that comes directly from the head office or headquarters. The reasoning is why to spend on something that is not mandatory. We will better show reduced expenses in P&L. Now, what happens when you set L&D budget? Do you set it and forget it? Do you change it? Do you review it? All organizations I work for had yearly budget set before the year starts. What do we take into consideration? We take business priorities and aspirations. For example, if a restaurant chain wants to open 3 additional restaurants in different locations, provision for extra training and development expenses needs to be made. We also need to look at current situation. Is the company expanding or maybe downsizing? Are there new products or services that will be offered this year to the customers? Another thing is new and upcoming industry trends. Another option is, are there any changes to L&D facilities? Maybe you have a training center or meeting room that needs to be renovated. Another option, are you going to introduce any new learning offerings to your employees? Maybe this year you want to give employees access to LinkedIn Learning or any other similar platform. Another option to consider is last year's budget, and it is often considered or even taken as a base for the next year budget. Another very important point, what L&D budget will cover. Is it only learning and development activities, or it also includes employee well-being, employee onboarding expense, employee engagement events, and so on? As the year progresses, adjustments might be made to the budget based on the financial constraints or emerging priorities. For example, when COVID hit in 2020, many organizations not just cut the L&D budget, but they also got rid of L&D professionals. That was the reality, to be honest with you. This time, as I am recording this video in 2023, you might want to spend more or train your employees on using AI so that they can become more productive and more efficient. And of course, for that you need additional budget, and this is something that you might not have budgeted earlier in the beginning of 2023. But of course, everything will depend on the business owners and finance. Your responsibility is to highlight and make a case study of why you think the L&D budget needs to be increased or reduced in the middle of the year. There is really no right or no wrong answer. This is it for today. Thank you for watching this video. As always, my DMs are always open for you in case you have any questions or suggestions. I hope you're having adventures and following your dreams. Bye for now.